we'll focus on Golden League 2, hopping into what could end up being a very quick series if RecoN decides that he doesn't like double digits on the clock before GG, because Beastie has taken an early lead. I think that was a 6-minute HRE mirror, but we're done with mirrors.
Better 6-minute HRE mirror than a 2-hour one, I would say.
I mean, I feel like that's the matchup that wouldn't get 2 hours. The Abbasid mirrors, however, which I'm expecting more of today at some point, yeah, those would hit 2 hours for sure.
Yeah, we've seen them yesterday as well. They can go the mile. They can go the distance there. Seeing that game with State against Sort of.
Hey, that delivered on a delay, though. All right, I want to give that one credit. The first 10 minutes, you could have went and had a nap and came back, but then,
then it started. And the entire time in the late game, I just saw all of these two players just reacting so perfectly to each other. I was like, wait, I can play against whoever comes next, whoever loses that one.
You swear
that was a rough one.
Hey man, look at the positives. You had all those things to kind of research, all the notes to take. Sadly, it wasn't able to work out, but the benefit of it going badly for you, Crackedy, is we got to hear your wonderful voice today. You're not blushing, are you?
No, I wouldn't. I don't know how to.
That got very mashed. No, I absolutely would not.
Thankfully, the beard hides it mostly.
There you go. Well, we're gonna see who's not going to have more hair on their face, maybe have less on their head after this one. This is definitely what can be a frustrating matchup on both sides, right? We mentioned the potency of Abbasid trades. We know how ridiculous their late game is. But there's no denying that RecoN has picked a Civ that is very strong right now. In fact, I'd argue that no player has still presented a sound solution to what is becoming the cut-and-dry replacement for Rimba, right? Which is the Sofa Archer mass the Malians can achieve.
Yeah, with the Farimba, you're just able to produce archers even if you don't have wood control the entire time. You also want the gold for the sofas anyway, so this just works perfectly. It's a really, really tough composition, especially once you get the poison arrow upgrade as the Malians. Those archers just shred absolutely everything. Armored units, unarmored units, crossbows, archers, you name it, they shred it.
Oh, could use them.
Right, so it's going to be the Manza Quarry.
Yes, and
Economic Wing.
I think that's fine. I actually quite like Eco Wing. Like, it's grown on me, mainly not because the whole idea of TCs like most people are thinking. I think it's just the smaller savings over time, right? Houses costing less, eco buildings costing less. You know, a few minutes into the game, you've saved several hundred wood.
Yeah, it's quite a nice upgrade to get, the new Eco Wing upgrade, especially if you want to go for an early Golden Age timing into a second TC. As soon as you get that upgrade in, your houses cost less, your economic buildings cost less. Yeah. You're able to put a lot of those out on the field and get your Golden Age at a really, really competitive timing without the heavy investment of going for it without the upgrade.
Yeah, it's definitely a beauty. I think, what was it? Was it 100? I want to say 125 resources? Thinking off the top
no,
of my
it's
head.
25 food and 75 gold, so it's actually really cheap.
So even cheaper. There you go. Even better than what I thought. I thought it was 125 for some reason. But yeah, the point to that I'm trying to get to, right, is, you know, you build 4 houses. You think about the savings you make there. Like, very quickly, this research pays for itself. You know, it's kind of, it's not quite what Fresh Food Stuffs was, right, to some degree. But in terms of how valuable it can feel just a few minutes in the game, it kind of scratches that itch still.
Yeah. Especially with how cheap it also makes your farms. You can literally just go into Castle Age, pump units out through multiple production buildings, and behind that get a farm transition gun done. It's actually really insane how well it supplements the eco with the Abbasids.
It's crazy. Like, when you just put the numbers in quite simple forms, right? Like, you're building farms. Well, guess what? Because of 25% discount, like, your fort farm is free sort of thing, right? So on a farm cluster, you can already see huge savings. Usually, you're building 8 farms there plus the mill. You're getting a decent haircut on the overall cost of that investment.
I'm wondering if we're going to see warrior scouts into, like, a sort of deer heist kind of approach here, because on Basin we do have the full amount of deer on the map, and they are pretty much exposed in like every single map generation except in this one for RecoN. He has a deer spot that's pretty nicely positioned behind his TC. Wait, is that a market? Is that a market next to the market? I see a blue dot on the minimap, and I feel like that might be a...
It's the tricky trader. He's back. Oh.
It's gotta be multiple markets. All right,
Okay.
all right. So
This is spooky as well. Look what RecoN's doing. He's massing scouts, and the reason this is really good is Beastie only has 1 scout, and he already knows that when you play up against the Malians like this, you're now already reaching a point where if you try to get info with this 1 scout, you can just get eviscerated by warrior scouts in return.
yeah, and if you don't have enough spearmen, the warrior scouts are able to just pick out any of those spearmen, kill them, and even if they take damage, they regenerate all of their HP in like 20 seconds. They don't care.
Well, we'll have to see. If RecoN does this a bit too fast, it's going to get scouted. Look at where Beastie is heading over to. Wait, is he?
Not quite. Not
No.
quite. He didn't go for the corner yet. BC's gonna be seeing those warrior scouts, and he's gonna be thinking, okay, this could be either of 2 things. Either it's gonna be like a really, really aggressive feudal age, or he's gonna try and steal my deer.
Would you not find it suspicious if you're a Beastie the way RecoN just ran the scout across the map like that? Right, like, obviously, maybe we've got that confirmation bias because we can see everything, but it feels like if you just pull these scouts straight away, most Malian players are heading straight towards the enemy base, not towards other corners.
He's gonna see him. He's gonna see those markets. He's going straight for them.
Dude, this is, oh my
Yeah.
god. And this is the thing, RecoN, man. When you build this type of reputation and you're playing a civ like this, and it's known that you're going to want to trade so often, going in this early can just kind of be the uppercut to yourself. I'm kind of surprised RecoN didn't try to hunt that scout before making this double marketplace investment.
Look at that. He immediately pulls a spearman. But at the same time, RecoN still has warrior scouts over here. If they just attack the...
Get
Yeah,
in.
there we go. Now they're going to go for the villagers. That's going to delay the town center significantly. Beastie has to pull his villagers back. It's going to have to pull the spears back. And that's just going to buy precious, precious seconds for those traders to pay off.
Yep. And crucial delay here. Right, Beastie's made that hard investment. The idle villagers alone. And now that also buys time for RecoN to do this. The walls are going to start going up. He has got a long way to wall to make this safe, though. You can see we've got the small wood clusters, but beyond that, it's a giant open field.
Yeah, and he's also going to have to think about securing his trade against Spearman, because Beastie, he's been producing a lot of them right now, and we're getting to the point where even with the healing on your warrior scouts, you're not going to be able to take any favorable fights here. Now, something that really plays into RecoN's hand here with these trade... Wait, they're not holding anything?
Are they?
No, that's probably just a vision bug. I don't believe that they're not carrying anything right now. Yeah, they are probably carrying those full 153.
I mean,
as soon as they're going to return to that.
They've got gold
market.
bags. You can see them when you zoom in, but I've been noticing a lot of UI bugs at the moment, Crackedy. Honestly, it feels like someone's coming, so all the bugs got to come out in real life and in game, I guess.
But there we go. Yeah, gets the 300 gold there, and we're seeing Musafati warriors here, interestingly. Okay, so RecoN, he baited Beastie a little bit early on. He made a barracks and then deleted that barracks so that Beastie was thinking that there's a barracks for RecoN. And now he decided to add it again, and now we're going to see another barracks. And this, I still don't see the justification here for the Musafati warriors in the feudal age against the Abbasid here. But, I mean, they're gonna help out later on. I mean, I really don't see it right now.
I think
I'm not sure how.
The logic is probably that the Musafati can ambush the villagers back at home, right? I imagine that's RecoN's goal, is he's just gonna kind of raid into the eco. It's kind of like blow for blow, right? Like, you go for my traders, I go for your villagers.
Now we see the villagers coming out here from Beastie. He's going to try and chop his way through the quick way, to get to the trade. And I think we're going to be seeing some outposts here on that neutral trade post. No, it's going to be walls immediately.
Have they been, like, slim fasting? Have they just not eaten for 5 weeks? How the hell did they get through that gap?
I mean, hitboxes in the game are... They can be deceiving, very deceiving.
They're genuinely wiggling as they go through that gap, Crackedy. Okay, this says everything it needs to. But Clash it underway. RecoN, he has started adding the sofas. That's a lot of spears he's up against. And Beastie, I wouldn't be surprised if we're already looking at phalanx. This is an absolute rout of the cavalry.
Yeah, I don't think phalanx is in yet, but it's the warrior scouts. Sure, you can take like small engagements and heal back up, but you cannot take this one. This one just is going to be too brutal. Then outpost is going to go up. Then we're going to be seeing likely just another wall. But this is not where the neutral outpost is. And we do see RecoN immediately making another outpost, which is just a little bit further back. So he's gonna be like, yeah, okay, you can take that corner. I'll rain my trade in a little bit just for you, just because you asked. But that villager is low and might go down here as we see the third TC behind all of that coming out from Beastie. I feel like if there just were a couple of archers here right now for RecoN, he would be feeling way better about the situation. Like the Sofa Archer composition is what you want to get to anyway, so that's why I'm just not really seeing the Musafati play right now.
I mean, he's adding Donzos instead. He might be Donzo pretty quick in this game at this rate. His comp doesn't really work against this. Like, building Donzos, sure, you got the hybrid attack, but I mentioned Phalanx, it'll eventually be there, especially when Beastie sees this is your comp choice. So RecoN does decide that he needs to tick every box. He has added in the archery ranges, but you need to be careful about the way you're kind of playing appeasement here, right? With the marketplace close to your base. Because we've learned through history that's a bad idea. Beastie could just as easily move in and drop another outpost here as well.
All right, and we also have the emplacement upgrade on that outpost, so now it's going to be doing extra damage, and these are all lightly armored Musafati warriors that actually die quite quickly to those arrows, but looks like he has enough to make that outpost burn. Villagers dropping out, trying to repair. No attack move yet here from RecoN.
This has just been better to walk to the other corner. Because that's
I mean,
what I'm wondering.
if you look at the map, it looks like Beastie would already anticipate that. We see a lot of yellow dots right now moving towards that.
All right, so RecoN just like one step ahead here. Beastie splits up his forces as a result, but problematic still for RecoN, considering he's now on the opposite side of the map. And the trade route for this leads to exactly the corner Beastie's heading to.
Yeah, still, there are a lot of traders on the map right now. So many traders, in fact, that RecoN is pretty much even in economy numbers to Beastie, who's sitting on 3 TC behind this.
He's not really suffering from it either.
Yeah, I mean, there is an outpost there, so there's always the chance of just garrisoning those traders, even if just for a little bit. We see additional outposts getting added, so the toll route is going to get completed. Looks like that wall is going to get fixed there by RecoN as well. Couple of traders are going to go down here, but these are returning traders. They've already fully paid themselves off.
That's true, but it's a one-time deal. They won't be able to do it again. That is very important here. Beastie, cool thing about massing horsemen like this, he can just come and go as he pleases. We have to remember that despite there's a few outposts here, RecoN still hasn't really secured much of the area outside of that top corner, which is the only easy place he can wall in.
Yeah, I feel like a single palisade wall just to the berries even, like from the side of the neutral outpost would already help a lot. It's also just, sure, the units could still go in there, but there's like a mental blockade. You have to go around the palisade wall, and that usually never really feels good. You don't feel safe going through that kind of choke point.
Especially when you know that RecoN is massing like this. Just look at the counter already up to 34. Now the question is, Beastie, is his end goal here to kind of like clap up the castle age? Or does he just accept that his eco on 3 TCs is going to be good enough to play a prolonged feudal?
Looks like RecoN is going to be adding even more walls to his trade at the top there. I think he still has that one market that's not fully finished yet, at like 90%-ish at the top side.
He doesn't need it now, though, right? He could delete it, though.
Yeah, like he could delete it, gets like 100. No, actually, it finished at one point.
Oh, okay.
I feel like he could have deleted that at one point. I hope he fixed up that wall. He really needs that wall fixed that Beastie chopped
He
through
made
at
a
one
second
point.
wall, so he doesn't care. He's made Takeshi's
No,
castle
he fixed it
up
as
here.
well. Yeah, he's. Oh, that's still.
Wait, is he not? What are we? Sir, you might want to build very fast.
That is gonna go. Yeah, I don't think even building fast helps. Okay, so he's quickly finishing up those walls, or at least just putting the foundation down. So at least the auto pathing means that Beastie's units aren't gonna immediately walk there. Yeah, look, so Beastie, he clicked behind that. The units walk back for a little moment.
Now, the archers could move in and snipe the villager.
that.
This would be quicker for Beastie if he done so. But instead, RecoN is going to slow him down, but the ram is coming.
Yeah, it's a lot of traders, though, at the same time that move in. And now Beastie is trapped. Beastie might be trapped here, and that's a lot of reinforcements that are coming that are not there right now to help him. And the archers are in position. They're going to be sniping the enemy archers instead of the spears. Granted, there aren't that many sofas right now that are under pressure from the spear, but this is looking really good right now for RecoN here, and even more sofas coming in without a lot of spears here for Beastie. This is going to be a cleanup.
That was brilliant from RecoN. Like, he strong on the right side of the fight with the sofas to ensure there couldn't be a retreat. Then Beastie ends up losing the right side of his formation, and he has to leave them behind, right? Archers have to retreat, and you're throwing away everything on the left side of that engagement. That's expensive as well. Horseman spinning going down. RecoN, what a stinger. And the cool thing is, because he's massed so many Musafadi, Beastie's now stuck in this cyclone, right? If he ever stops massing troops to defend in the midfield, he knows the stealth is going to get activated, and they're going to arrive in the back of his base.
Yeah, and those could be some horrendous raids here. Is still kiting back, so getting a lot of value out of those archers. Archers from RecoN are now catching up, able to get some picks off here as well. Army numbers looking somewhat even-ish, if not in the favor of RecoN right now, but that might be a little bit of an illusion, as a lot of those are Musafadi, which still die like in a single volley.
But it's going to get worse, Crackedy, right? This fight was taken by RecoN without blacksmith upgrades. First one just came through the steeled arrows. I'm expecting Undermesh as a fast follow-up. Beastie looked decent on the retreat because he has the blacksmith advantage. But he's capped out now, right? Look at all the pips. There's nothing else he can get as an edge in this age. And he'll be aware. Oh, go ahead.
He still has that unfinished ram next to the palisade from RecoN.
You got to have goals to aim for, okay? It's like the incomplete marketplace. RecoN completed that one, moved to the next one. Speaking of those marketplaces, trader count has to be up at like what? I want to say 20 right now, or close to.
I'd go further. I'd say it's like probably at like 35 at this point. He has so many markets make. And actually, you were completely on the mark there at 20 traders.
Let me just flex my. Oh, I don't get a chance to do that often. I'm good at counting little dots. That's my one edge in life.
Okay, I guess he didn't make them all the time. I mean, if you're making archers, that's a lot of wood investment right there. So can't invest at the same time.
I think he lost close to 10, if not more in total as well, to the raids from Beastie, right? So you're probably just thinking how many has he built in the entire game, which is a fair way to think about it. But still, 20, you know, that is going to continue to escalate. Beastie understands he has to make a move soon, and his move is going to be to go up. Military wing is on the way. A strong choice considering he will have access to the boot camp. RecoN is going to get into an infantry mosh pit where he will find himself at a sheer disadvantage.
I feel like you just need the military wing, especially at this point in Castle Age, just because in an archer versus archer war, getting the composite bow upgrade would be really, really important, because RecoN with the Malians just love spamming out those archers with the Farimba. RecoN has the gold axes from the trade in order to spam an extra ton of them. So yeah, I think that military wing is the only reasonable upgrade here, just for the boot camp. And if you just want to be able to fight with infantry against the Malians, I think you really want to have that those upgrades.
And this is the beautiful thing about having horsemen and arriving on that fully flourished trade line. Not only are you a good body blocker to definitely kill traders, they body block each other, as you were seeing. Like clambering over, just trying to escape. Makes it much easier to snipe them out as they stay in melee range.
I'm wondering why RecoN isn't garrisoning them sometimes. Like, sometimes the traders are right next to an outpost, and RecoN just chooses not to garrison them. It's like, sure, you lose the gold, the trader lives, and if you don't, the trader dies. It's a weird trade-off there.
Is that how that works? I thought if you just like let one of the traders die, the others work harder. Because like, yeah, it's like sending a message, Crackedy. You might be next. Oh Lord. And RecoN is sending a message, a strong one here. This army is big, and Beastie, there's a risk that he maybe thinks, okay, he's fully feudal, but he's not. We see the Farimba's on the way, and although Beastie's going to have a tech advantage, it's going to be less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, and this is also where a significant bonus for the Malians comes into play, right? So I think a lot of players forget about this, or have forgotten about this, but Malians get faster research from trade. All of this trade right now, if we can just look at a building, I think that the upgrades don't take 1.5 minutes anymore. I think they probably take only like 20 seconds.
I mean, if you hold on the archers, you can see, look how quick that bar's going. Good Lord. He's got somewhere to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just, the upgrades are just beaming through right now at light speed.
Light speed? Whoa,
He's getting them before Beastie. He's getting the upgrades before Beastie. Beastie's been up for like 20 seconds longer. He's getting them way before him. It's already finished.
I want us to just turn in a race. Eco upgrades next, boys. All right, like, come on, RecoN. Where's the Lumberjacks fantasy here? I want to see how quickly you can get that. Good Lord.
Ah, he made a little wall there, and now a lot of the traders chose to go the long way around.
And then when I see walls like this, I just have flashbacks to when I theory crafted the maze you could make to get all the taxes. It didn't work. The devs fought ahead of me. So if anyone who's like thought of that tax trick before with the outposts, if you reset your traders, they can't pick up the taxes again. Don't try it.
Yeah.
I wasted a very long time on that.
There's the cooldown. I tried to min-max it, but I didn't get to comparable numbers.
So I created an unnecessarily elaborate maze of gates that I would unlock every minute so that they would cycle around just to discover it was pointless. I hate myself sometimes. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but right now I'm sure we all have a collective hate for the Malians. I don't know if everyone's just cheering for Beastie, but it would be nice to see the Malians take an L for once, but at the same time, I want this series to keep going. Remember, Beastie took game 1 in a lightning fashion. Not such a quick finish this time around. 20 minutes in, RecoN with the melee advantage, but you cannot ignore the eco burst from Beastie here. Just look how many units ahead he is.
Yeah, and he has so much food in the bank right now as well. This is just this giga-fast food transition that you get with the Beastyqt now. Already all the farms are placed that he needs, like for the entire rest of the game. He gets the agriculture upgrade, so 15% more. He's pretty much farm-wise better than Imperial right now. He's getting the Golden Age with that as well, so...
He needs more buildings. Like, look at that food mass right now. Unless he wants to just buy Imperial Age. This is absurd. I mean, this is Beastie.
Yeah, he's already actually no agriculture yet.
Whoa, come on, step it up.
He doesn't need more food right now. Let's be real here. He's got a decent amount of food in the bank. I'm sure food right now for him is probably not a major concern for him.
I mean, he's pop capped. He's hoarding right now. It doesn't count. Clash comes in, though. And look at this. RecoN has enough troops to wrap around the side. Beastie has to think about backing up. Cavalry do get onto the Mangonel, but only a few of them. Seems that RecoN wants to be a little bit frugal in that regard, and it works out. Beastie losing the frontal assault, loses the siege on the backside. As the archers move in to clean up the front side of spears, Beastie needs to reproduce fast.
Yeah, but this is like, Beastie knows about the position that he's in. He knows that he has a ton of economy behind all of this. And he talks about this quite a bit every now and then, that sure, right now his units are like dying and stuff, but behind that, for every single unit that dies, he's just going to produce them at the same time that they die.
But this is not the Abbasses we've been seeing yesterday as much, right? With the pop cap noise makes my ears rupture. He's struggling to actually re-attain that 200 pop cap, but admittedly on the other side, RecoN is shrinking. He's shriveling up, down to 150 pop cap. He has at least got trade continuing to boom up behind this, but as you can see by his resource bank, it's not going to be easy to instantly replace his army compared to where Beastie's at.
Yeah, what I'm majorly concerned about right now is because he doesn't have, or rather he didn't go for the trade landmark Star and Trade network. He's not getting any food from the trade right now, so he has to buy cattle and stuff like that.
That's true.
Gets a nice pick there on those villagers that were trying to be a little bit sneakier. Beastie almost 2,000 stone in the bank.
I
so...
wonder what they were doing,
Yeah.
Crackedy. I mean, like, what could they do with 2,000 stone? Do you think they were maybe going to make a TC back there? You know, try and take the resources
Yeah,
away?
I mean, you're at 3 TC, and we saw yesterday that 3 TC sometimes just isn't enough.
That's true. Well, apparently he hasn't got enough stone. He wants more. He's going to invest some in the wall. And by the way, that secures a lot of vital resources. It's not just the small stone outcropping, it's the fat one on the outside. So Beastie is going to turn this into the Maginot line.
That's a nasty
RecoN?
timing right now, bro.
Oh no, this is... Beastie says, I agree. This is a great location for a keep. Did you want this gold right here? No bueno.
Wait, did RecoN lose the stone? No, never mind. He placed another keep. For a second, I was thinking that he might have lost the stone there from the units hitting it.
Oh,
and behind
Beastie's
that,
going up.
Beastie now goes up to Imperial Age.
While taking a fight as well on the other side of the map. A clash that could be decent for RecoN, but Beastie quick to turn around. The mass of spears. Sofa's trying to hold that front side, but even if you hold, the castle is up. RecoN, no doubt, is going to be forced to retreat here.
Yeah, it's the first keep from Beastie though, so at least there's not going to be any boiling oil immediately on it. So units don't have to be too afraid of staying under their ass.
I mean, you say that.
Is going to be able
died.
to wipe up the army.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Sofa count. Like, down to 12, I think plenty died there. Overall, if you're Beastie, you have to be happy with that, right? Because you dispose of a cheaper army, and now you can come in with more premium if you want. Or, if you really want to go the true Abbasid late game way, just pump more horsemen and spearmen. They just get better from here on out.
Yeah, I'm a little bit afraid here because RecoN, in those previous fights, he still didn't have all of his blacksmith upgrades. Now he has them, and they are so fast to get for RecoN right now. I think like every single upgrade that he could possibly want to get would probably be complete in less than 10 seconds.
You know how we bust Malians more? Why don't Springalds build quicker? All right, I'm gonna stop giving them ideas. Technically,
They already have cauldrons.
but hear me out, Crackedy, right? Like, technically, like here's the one. Like for example, should emplacements not build faster, considering the ambassadors get the pot discount? I'm just saying, you know, consistency matters here, folks.
True. True.
Ambassador players like,
Alright,
don't
now
take that away from
BC
me. It's like, so you want to give the Malians a buff? No, I don't want that either. You gotta choose.
Alright, I feel like in the situation right now, RecoN really needs the Hunter Swatters right now. He's really deep into Musafati Warriors right now. If he at least gets like the first strike ability on them, that's when they can really pop off in the later stages of the game against like any other units. We saw there was some cheeky quick wills there on Beastie side to block out the trade momentarily. And I mean, right now, RecoN, he's on 40 traders and quote unquote, he's only at 2,000 gold per minute.
Because look at where his route is. They're going around the trees, all the way to the backside, through the gates. I mean, honestly, this is starting to look like that creation I was talking about that I made for the taxes. You can see it on the mini-map, right?
Collapsing. Yeah, they're doing the conga line. They're going the long way around, but
isn't that like
not putting any extra gold there?
Is that like 1.2, maybe 1.3 times the length of the map that he's traveling for trade?
Yeah, it's a fair distance. And
wait, but Beastie's
already got villagers there. He's planning
it,
something.
I mean, he could just wall this right now and make it even worse, but he's busy with walls elsewhere. And that
Boiling Oil is in now, so units gotta be careful with how long they want to be staying there in Beastie. He's going for the long wall as he's also prepping his trade.
Of course, he has that trade wing. He's the bastards in the late game. This is going to add up fast, especially with the eco that he's got behind him, right? He could afford to pump traders out of 4, 5, 6, 7 marketplaces at this stage and still be able to front an assault like this.
I'm not sure if RecoN has played a lot against Malian mass archers because he chose not to get poison arrows by now. It can be really annoying playing against poison arrows Malian archers, but
this is an
Beastie
interesting
isn't gonna have to do that.
So like one thing I've been kind of theory crafting is actually, I really want to do a test around this. I'm going to have to probably sometime in the week if I get chances. All right, scrap it. We'll do a post game because it looks like that is just going to be the GG moment. RecoN, he sees there's no way back in. He calls GG, but don't shed a tear, my friends. RecoN still has an opportunity to make a deep run. He just has to do it in the depths of the redemption bracket.
Yeah, he's not out quite yet, but here we can see the economy count. RecoN pretty much even when it comes to economy units overall, just producing those traders. Total unit count also looking pretty decent there as well, but Beastie just with a really good timing on the farm transition due to that economic wing, and we can see it in the food department. Sure, there's a lot more gold in the bank for RecoN, but the food, the wood, the stone, if we look at the units that were actually produced here by Beastie, those metrics are just more important here than the gold.